What's up, guys? It's Lucid, and I am extremely disappointed. No, that's not a cool way to start a video, but that's just how I feel right now, and I decided that I wanted to share how I felt, which is not common for me, so buckle up. I was on Instagram. I don't go on Instagram a lot. I try and only go on there to figure out what's going on as far as the spiritual community goes, retrogrades, things like that. I've kind of found other websites outside of it, but I like the community that I have on Instagram for that. Anyway, I was on Instagram today and saw a couple posts from a couple people about the Amazon rainforest being on fire. Yeah, and I remember thinking, okay, I just saw a case a couple months ago about an indigenous tribe that just won against an oil rigging company to not do the rigging on their land, and then a couple months later the forest is now on fire. And I know it's been on fire for some time in other places. Now they're saying it's to the amount to where we're basically losing one of, there's already three forests that are supposed to be helping to prevent global warming, and two of them are already basically dead. And I know what society teaches us as children, and through programming, through movies and TV and whatnot, about caring about the earth, and a lot of characters in movies and stuff, oh, she's a tree hugger, oh, she's a hippie, and trying to make it sound derogatory. And I always wondered, why are they making people who care about the earth and love the earth seem like they're not what's cool, or that's something you should make fun of? I never understood that until I started understanding that these companies and the government do not care about anything they don't care about anything except money. That's the only goal they have, is money and power. They do not care about the well-being of anybody else but themselves and their profit, and they don't care about the earth or what it's provided for everybody to even live. And that doesn't make sense to me. I guess I don't understand. I saw Shailene Woodley made an Instagram post check out this Greenpeace website so you can, help stop this and sign a petition and whatnot. And when I went on the website, I saw so many things that they're petitioning against. And then that made me wonder, why is there even a group of people called activists that even have to do this in order for us to care about the planet that we live on? Shouldn't the people in these major companies and in our government be the activists? Shouldn't those be the people who are highest in power, be people who care about the earth? I don't understand why there has to be a separate group outside of that has to fight for that. That to me doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound like the kind of world I want to live in. And I've already been frustrated with this for a really long time, but it's getting to a point now where we have less than 10 years before we can reverse the damage that we've done. And I just don't understand how people cannot care. And it doesn't have to be oh, I love the earth, and oh, it's so you, even just having a general respect for the place that you live should be enough for you to not think trying not to get too frustrated. But my main point is, there are so many things that the earth has provided for everyone who lives here, and I think a lot of people become so detached from the fact that they live on a planet because we are becoming completely overpopulated and having so many outside elements of earth ingrained in us. We live in buildings, we're on roads, we have light systems. But there was a time where there were no roads and there were no artificial lights. There weren't these huge concrete structures. There was literally just the sun, the moon, the stars, grass, and trees. That's how it started, and it was just fine then, before all of us showed up. I totally believe humans at this point are an invasive species, based on how we're treating the earth. And I don't know if it's just in my personality, but I care about the environment around me, and I care about, you don't even have to care about, that's what I don't get. You don't even have to try hard to care about this stuff. Just having common respect and decency should lead you to a path where you don't do any of these things that are causing the earth to just be so sick of us. I was in the car the other day, and everyone who smokes cigarettes just flick the cigarette out of the window, and that makes me so mad, because it's something that's been taught and ingrained in people, oh, you can just flick that. No, why are you doing that? Throw it in a fucking trash can. I don't understand why that's okay to throw out a window but nothing else. I don't understand if that's something that's been like psychologically taught to us through movies and shows, like, oh, you can just look it out the window, oh, it's whatever. No. Why would you do that? Like, I just don't get that. I don't get. I don't like want to rant too much because I already know this video is basically a rant. I want to have something positive come out of me talking about this, and basically it's that there are large groups of people trying to get other large groups of people to care about the only planet that we live on and the only thing that can support life. And I don't understand why that's so hard on an individual level for people to take responsibility for themselves. It would be as simple as, like, if literally every single person, like you that I'm talking to now, if you just yourself decided, like, I'm going to spend a whole day thinking about the way in which I live and if it affects the earth negatively. You could just do it one day and notice so many things. You could choose to carry around one water bottle all day and just refill that instead of buying continuous plastic bottles, which will add to landfills and add to carbon emission. You could do that and choose to do that for one day, and that would already save, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 bottles that typically would have been sold to you. And I know a lot of people say, well, someone else is still going to buy them. Well, yes, but if every single individual person decided not to buy water bottles anymore, guess what? Those companies aren't selling anything, they're not making a profit, and guess what companies care about? Profit. So if they're not profiting off of it, then guess what? They're going to find, oh, okay, well, everyone seems to care about these new reusable bottles. Why don't we start trying to sell some of those? Like, they will shift their focus based on consumers, and we are the large mass that they sell to. So if you, just as an individual, chose, today, I'm going to use this reusable bottle. I'm going to get a toothbrush made out of bamboo because it is biodegradable and it's not plastic, and people use lots of toothbrushes. Like, just think of all these little things that you use every day that you're not necessarily thinking about where they go are some of the main things that build up in landfills. Just choosing a couple of things a day will drastically change. When you're walking around and you're looking and seeing people, if you notice just when you walk down the street how much litter you see. Do you see lots of trash on the ground? Are people not throwing their trash away? That doesn't make fucking sense to me. If each person just cared about how they treated their environment, then we would literally not have to worry about anyone. And I'm not talking about just like everyone as like people in your regular everyday life. I literally mean every single person on earth, people in companies, people in government. If everyone felt a personal responsibility to take care of themselves and the things that they use in this world, we would not have half of the problems that we do. So I'm trying to figure out a way to help people who don't do these things understand what it is they're doing, because I'm guessing some of these people do not understand, or they don't care. And if they don't care, I'm wondering why they don't care. Why wouldn't you care about how you're treating the earth? If you imagine that the earth was a person right now, what do you think she would look like? She would look like shit. Okay? She would be sick. She'd be burned on her skin. She'd be tired. She'd be drained. She'd be starving. She'd be thirsty. She would be unkempt and uncared for. She would be tortured. She would be sat on. She would be overworked and overused and unappreciated. If anyone could just think about the fact that Earth is an energy and the fact that Earth is like supposed to be our home, if you can remove the idea that buildings are supposed to be here because they're not really, if you could remove the idea that roads and electrical systems and lights and all man-made things were gone from the earth, what would be left? The earth, the main thing that was here before us, before we added anything to it. And that was literally all we needed. That was literally all we needed. There were plenty of people who survived in this way. We chose that we needed more. That we needed more things, we need to do these things. And yes, some things have been beneficial, but there should be a really easy way to determine whether or not it's beneficial for the earth as well. It cannot be that hard to figure out. Unless maybe I'm just not realizing that a lot of people are not awake in this way. So, I guess I've always lived my life because I'm so connected to the moon. I've always lived my life through the earth and not through modern society, I guess you could say. I don't see trees as, oh, that's just a tree. No, trees were literally, they're on this earth for a reason. They weren't just placed here all willy-nilly, oh yeah, let's just throw some trees on earth. They were a natural way for people who lived on the earth when there were no roads, cities, lights, or anything. That was the way that people who were traveling through the earth rested. That's how they found refuge. They rested on trees. Trees have natural energy that draws up from the earth through their roots that your body can charge from. These were ways in which people would find rest through the woods. Trees are way more important than we think they are. And they're like, oh, you're a tree hugger. That's not a bad thing. That's one of the best things you can do when you need to connect back to yourself. When you feel like you're too much a part of an electrical world, connect back to the energy of the earth. I'm not trying to get into a tangent because I will, but just seeing that about the forest burning and how so many people don't know what to do, and so many of us are like, I know it's happening, but the people who are in charge of really making this huge change don't care. They're not listening. They care about money. They care about power. Everyone needs to feel responsible for themselves. You are your greatest problem, but also your greatest solution to feeling responsible for what happens to the earth. Choosing smarter choices every day can be really easy when you think about, is this something that could be damaging to the earth? You should want the earth to be healthy. She is crying to be healthy again. She is so tired, and I feel so bad for her because we are so disrespectful as humans, as people who live here. And I really hope that everyone just decides to feel responsible for themselves and decides, okay, even if people in my family, even if my friends start making fun of me and making jokes about me because I'm trying to be better to myself and to the earth, that's okay. That's on them because they're still uncomfortable with that. And me choosing to do that reflects on them something they're not ready for. And that's them. That's not me. Only worry about yourself. Do not worry about what they think because they are not you. And at the end of the day, all you have is you and your choices. And if you don't want to feel like a part of the problem, then be your own solution. Please, I'm just asking. Try it one day. Try it a week. Try it a month. It's really not hard. You've tried the way you're doing now for this long. You can try another way. I think it would be beneficial to not just you, to your family, to your friends. As you spread that, other people will think about it too, and you could really help other people grow in that way. It is possible. I really hope that I didn't bring anybody down with this message today, but I really just feel really strongly about this, and I'll probably talk about it more in some other ways, but I wanted to get a main message out as this is happening right here, right now, in our reality today. It's not going away. I hope that you all sit and think about the ways in which you love the earth and the ways in which you don't love the earth, the ways in which you love yourself and the ways in which you don't love yourself, and see if they match up or if they reflect anything. Thank you for listening. I hope you love the earth today, even if you just go out and take a look at it and be thankful for it. I hope you guys all have a great day or night wherever you are. Be thankful for where you live. If it's not burning down right now, be extra thankful. All right, I'll see you again in the Moon Lagoon. Peace and love.